When you're ready, let's start today's class laying down. Find your way to your mat. Grab any extra cushioning or pillows that you might want. And begin to settle on in. Maybe Shavasana with your arms and legs outstretched, or maybe constructive rest with your knees bent and your feet standing up near the edges of your mat. Take a little bit of movement on your way if anything comes to mind. And then settle on in. Let your arms and hands rest. Let your legs rest. If it feels right, maybe closing down the eyes. You could breathe a sigh or two of relief. And taking a scan through your body, starting at your toes and working your way up to the crown of your head eventually. Just notice how things are, like you're giving everything a quick once over. How are things? Is there anything to be a little extra careful about today, or any areas of your body that want some extra attention or care? Seeing how you feel in this moment. Even if you can't put words to what it is that you're feeling, just kind of taking note, sticking with it. And then begin to expand your awareness of your breath. Expanding both your awareness of your breath and the breath itself, possibly lengthening the inhales and the exhales. Try to find the sweet spot of breathing in a full way without causing any stress. I notice that sometimes when I'm trying to breathe in like too deep, my body kind of like tenses up, or like I'm efforting somehow too hard. So try to avoid that and just get in the flow with it. And if it feels interesting to you, maybe you let there be some sound to your breath, almost like hearing some water or some waves coming in, rolling out. And for a few breaths, just let your mind think up anything it needs to think up. If there's anything kind of stopping you from being in the present moment, just let your brain, let your mind have a few moments here, a few breaths to go crazy with it. Think about the things. If there's anything that keeps popping in, just go ahead and think about it for a little bit. If need be, even writing something down. Just kind of clearing the way for this practice. Maybe reassuring your mind that, you're going to be able to think up anything you need to again later. So for now, just resting, nowhere else to be, nothing else to do. Just giving your full awareness, your full presence as much as you can to this practice today. If you'd like to set that as a dedication or bring in another intention or dedication to your practice, go ahead and bring something to mind now. And repeating your intention or dedication to yourself a couple of times. Then let's take a big clearing breath in through the nose and a sigh out of your mouth. Starting to wiggle fingers and toes, maybe letting your head rock from side to side. Then moving on to circling your ankles and wrists a couple times both ways, maybe continuing to let your head rock to each side. Eventually heading into a long body stretch, straightening arms and legs and reaching them in opposite directions. Great time for a little yawn. And then moving any props out from underneath you for now. Let's bend our knees, stand the feet up. And we'll do a couple rounds of breathing bridge pose. So tucking your shoulders, blades in beneath the chest, pressing your arms down by your sides. Tuck your tailbone so your low back flattens towards the ground and your abdominals just get a little tighter. With your inhale, we're pressing down with the feet and arms. We're lifting up through the pelvis, hip points, lift. And then exhale, lower back down. Taking any adjustments, maybe inching your feet toward the top of your mat or out wide if you felt any discomfort. Inhales have you lifting. Exhales have you lowering. Go ahead and do that about 2 or so more times. I like to close my eyes here. I'm just like the type of person who I get so distracted and so interested by things on the outside that for me, when I close my eyes, just really helps me be more present. That's always an option to you as well. Let's go ahead and hug the knees in toward the chest and take some free movement as you rock and roll a little bit of weight around your back and your low back. And moving into a happy baby, reaching down. You could hold on to the back of your legs or reach down for the inside or outside edges of your feet, and then pull your knees in toward your armpits. You can hold steady here or find a little bit of movement and play with it a little bit, bending and straightening opposite knees. And then bringing the soles of the feet together. If you can reach, hugging the feet together, grabbing hold of the feet. If not, you can hold onto your knees and just kind of open up the hips that way. Let's take about 2 more breaths. And then releasing. One more long body stretch here. Reaching long. Okay, side bend, banana pose to the right, walking your heels over toward the right edge of the mat, grabbing hold of your left arm or wrist and directing the upper body toward the right as well, creating that nice side bend banana shape. Reaching and lengthening, breathing into that left lung to help aid your stretch. Whenever the timing is right, go ahead and switch sides, releasing your arms, walking your heels over toward the left edge of your mat, and then grabbing hold of your right arm or wrist, and side bending over to the left now. Paying extra close attention to your right side, your right lung. In each of our yoga classes, we always move our spine in all 6 or 7 directions. It's kind of up for debate how many directions there are, but side bending in both directions both count. And then coming back to the center. Let's go ahead and come up to a seat, either rocking and rolling a couple of times up and down the spine or turning onto either side and then pressing your way up. Then we're going to go into cat and cow. So continuing the journey to hands and knees. We have two more directions of the spine that we move here in cat and cow. With our inhale, lower the belly, lift the gaze and tailbone, cow pose. And then exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, tuck your tailbone, cat pose. Keep going like that a few rounds through, inhaling as your gaze lifts, cow pose. Exhaling to cat. So cat and cow, the forward motion, the back bend, our side to side movements. And we have our twists in both directions. And lengthening up through the crown of the head. So we do all of those. You don't have to remember those. We do them all in our yoga classes here, but very good for the spine to move in all the directions every day if possible, even just for a bit. Cat and cow, always on my list to do every day. Okay, and then meeting up in extended child's pose, knees out wide toward the edges of your mat, big toes touching behind you. If your knees are agreeable, maybe sinking back and then coming to rest. If not, just staying upright for a little while, spending a little bit of time rocking forward and back, settling on in wherever you see fit. Taking some diaphragmatic breaths, drawing air down to the lowest parts of your lungs. Sometimes it can feel like you're breathing all the way down to the sacrum or down to the pelvis or like the pelvic bowl. That seems to like really resonate in my mind and my body. Two more breaths here. And when you're ready, come on up, tabletop. We'll grab our blocks. Let's find our way to downward dog. Curling your toes under, picking up the knees, reaching the tailbone high. Find your breath first and foremost. And if you want to move a little, maybe bending and straightening opposite knees or both knees together. Pushing your hands down into the blocks or the floor even more so your shoulders kind of reach up toward your ears. With a breath in, bend your knees deeper, look up toward your hands, and then step or walk to the top. Exhale, ragdoll, forward folds, getting a nice stretch to the back of the legs here. Let your upper body be loose. You might nod your head yes, or shake your head no. You can use your blocks here if it feels a little more supportive to keep your head slightly upright. You sure can. Otherwise, finding a little bit of swaying movement or just holding steady. I always think it feels so nice to bend a little extra through my knees. It just feels like my back is getting stretched in such a nice way. we'll start to make our way up to stand, bending your knees a little extra, tucking your chin in toward your chest. Walk your hands up your legs, coming up to stand. Taking any little adjustments when you get to the top. And then we're having our little shake it out moment at the top. So just start moving in any way that feels enlivening. You could start with the arms or maybe do a few heel drops by lifting and lowering your heels a couple of times, getting that nice deep bounce going through the tissues of your body. Maybe a couple little hops. Maybe some more wild shaking. Getting everything going here. Woo. All right, then we're up at the top of the mat. Take a look at your feet. Make sure they're a comfortable distance apart. Let's give the toes and the feet a little love today. So taking a look down, just pick up all of your toes and spread them out to the best of your ability and then set them back down. Let's see if we can lift just the big toes. So keeping your other toes down, see if you can lift your big toes. Sometimes it helps to kind of get down there and guide your toes the first couple times. So big toes lifting, the rest of toes down, and then lower. Shake them out a little bit if you want. Then we're going to do the opposite. So big toes stay down. See if you can lift all the other toes up. Maybe even spreading out the other toes. It also kind of helps for me if my hands are kind of doing something. And then lower. Let's try to switch back and forth a couple of times, lifting just the big toes and lowering. Lifting all the other little toes, keeping the big toes down and lowering. Go ahead and do that a couple times back and forth. And then wiggling everything out there. When you're done, maybe tapping your toes or the top of your foot kind of on the floor or pressing into your foot to stretch the top of your ankle, top of your foot. Very good. All right. Back up at the top, let's flip the palms to face the front of the space here, finding our mountain pose, Tadasana. With an inhale, rise up to your tippy toes, nice and slow, heels rise. And then exhale, lower down. We're gonna do that 3 more times. Inhale as you rise up. Option to lift your hands high as well. Exhale to lower. 2 more, your style here. Staying lifted on your last round if you'd like. If it feels too easy today by chance, maybe purposely destabilize yourself a little bit here so you're getting some good practice in with all of your other stabilizing muscles. And then lower your heels, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step just your right foot back and lower your right knee down to the mat. Grabbing hold of your blocks here. Let's shift the pelvis forward and down, stretching out the right hip flexor area here. We'll go between our low lunge like so and our half splits. So when you're ready, pulling the hips back, keeping the hips lifted over your back knee, and straightening or almost straightening that left leg just so you feel a good stretch going through the back of your leg. Feel free to move between those two at your own pace here, shifting forward, planting your left foot, puffing up your chest. And then moving back a couple times through. Stretching out the hamstring, calf a little bit, hip flexors, even the glutes. That's nice. Okay, stepping the left foot down. Let's bring our hands onto the blocks. Curl your right toes under, pick up your right knee, and then step your left foot back to 3-legged down dog with the left toes lifting high. Big breath in and out, shift forward, high plank, set your left foot down, lower your knees, and lower your chest. Flip to the tops of your feet with your inhale, baby cobra, lifting your head and chest. And exhale, lower. Inhale, baby cobra, rising. Exhale, lower. One more time, inhale, rise up to baby cobra. Let's stay lifted here. Lifted for the exhale. Inhale, press your way up. Tabletop. And exhale, child's pose. Big breaths. Almost like you're breathing more space in between the vertebrae. I know you're not really doing that, but just to me, it feels that way. And then rising up, tabletop. Let's grab our blocks. With an exhale, find downward dog. Inhale, rise up to your tippy toes. Exhale, sink your heels toward the floor. Inhale, same thing, lifting. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the right toes up behind you, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand. Make sure you have a block underneath your left hand here. We're going to take a twist. The left knee could come down to the floor, or you can stay lifted. Let's reach that right hand up high. Nice big twist. If you want, we'll find a little bit of motion here, giving this nice sunset, sunrise type of vibe with the right hand. So just creating a big rainbow. Sunrise, sunset. Sweeping that right arm around. And then planting your right hand back down on the blocks. Toe heel your right foot to the center of your mat. Bring your blocks up onto the highest setting. We're going to step forward to a standing splits. So we're going to kind of like push off with the left foot and stand or and lift up that left leg, kind of like three-legged down dog. And with an exhale, plant your left foot on the ground, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold with a little bit of a bend in the knees. Inhale, rise all the way up. Upward salute. Exhale, hands come down to heart center. Take a few moments to come back. Feeling into the physical signs of life, of energy flowing through your body. Checking in with any thoughts or feelings. Knowing we have another side here. Just giving yourself a little pep talk. Resilience, strength, the ability to opt in or out of any of the movements anytime. Take a big breath in and a sigh to release. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step just the left foot back, lowering your left knee to the mat right away. Keep breathing as you begin shifting forward and getting that hip flexor stretch through the left hip. Puffing the chest up here, hands up on the highest setting on the blocks. If you don't have blocks, maybe your hand could come up to your knee. And at any time, pulling the hips back toward half splits, peeling the right toes up off of the mat, and straightening or almost straightening that right leg. You can hold still with it or find a little bit of movement here, shifting forward, puffing up the chest, low lunge, and then coming back, half splits. Move in a way that feels right to you. Okay. If you find it extra challenging to do that step back to the three-legged down dog, another option here could be, let's plant that right foot. Another option can be, instead of just curling your left toes under right here and stepping the right foot back, you could set, or you can bring your right knee back to tabletop pose and then start to come up to downward dog, lifting your right foot in the end. Or wait, left foot step back. Okay. So curling your left toes under and then the right foot back, three-legged down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, shift forward, high plank, and lower all the way down, knees, and then your chest. Let's find a different variation today of our baby cobra. This time we will have goalpost arms, so just bending your elbows, maybe resting your head on the floor if that feels comfortable to you. Elbows bent at about 90 degrees here. Take a couple breaths to prepare. Press the tops of your feet down into the mat a lot so you feel your glutes working. With your inhale, rising up, lifting the arms. And exhale, lower down. Two more like that. Inhale to rise. Hug the shoulder blades together behind you. And exhale, lower. One last time. Inhale to rise. And exhale to lower. Inhale, press up to tabletop. And exhale, child's pose, whatever variation you'd like. Take some of those very deep belly breaths. Breathing as low as you can. As you're ready, take a breath in, come on up, tabletop. Curl your toes under and exhale to downward dog. Big breath in and out. Breathing in and out. Inhale, left leg lifts behind you, three-legged down dog. Exhale, step left foot forward to the outside of your left hand. Right hand on a block here. Let's take our twist to the left. Left arm reaching up. Option to lower your right knee to the mat or keep it lifted. Go ahead and take a little bit of movement through that left arm. Breathing here, leaning into the breath for support and strength if you feel challenged. And then bringing your left hand down to the block. Toe heel your left foot near the center of your mat. Come up to the highest setting on your blocks. And take a big step forward into our standing split. So the right leg up behind you. Big breath in. And exhale, set your right foot down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, reaching your hands high. Exhale, hands to heart center. Take a few breath cycles to yourself. Letting everything catch up. Let's take a clearing breath now in through the nose and a sigh to release. Go ahead and lower your arms, open your eyes if they were closed. Give anything a little shake that you need to, and then we're going to start some balancing. So today we're going to go into a standing figure 4, like so. So highly recommend having a wall or something close so that you don't have to. It's just nice to, as you're getting into something like this, to have something close. So you don't have to like keep resetting so much. So maybe just shifting your weight back and forth from foot to foot a little bit first here. Don't know why, I just feel like it helps the body just kind of like get ready for like firing up all the muscles that we're going to need to help us balance. And when you're ready, let's shift all the weight over to the right foot. Grab hold of your wall if you want to. And then we're going to start to lift that left knee, one-legged mountain pose. You could hold on to your left leg if you want, just getting everything kind of working here. You're welcome to stay right here or move into a figure 4, crossing your left ankle just on top of your right calf or thigh. You can stay here holding onto the wall, or maybe start to sit back a little bit, stretching. I like to bring my elbows like down to my left leg for support. You could bring your hands onto the the chair, seat of a chair. See where it goes for you. Let's take about 3 more nice slow breaths. Whenever you're ready, starting to come back up, bringing your left knee up with you, maybe giving it a little squeeze if you want, and then setting it on down. Oh, shake out your standing leg. Ah, that right leg really did a lot of work there. Okay, then we'll switch sides. So shifting weight to the left leg when you're ready. Right knee finding a little lift here. You can always hold on for support. Maybe you stay right here. Lots of good work being done. Or start to find your figure 4, crossing your right ankle on top of the left thigh. Possibly staying here or sitting back a little bit. Maybe bending forward a little bit more. Bringing hands together. You could bend that left knee a bit more if you want. Finding your own way. Let's have about 3 more breaths. And then eventually rising back up. Maybe giving your right knee a little squeeze. And then setting everything down, shaking it out. Good stuff, everyone. Let's come on down to the yoga mat, coming down to the floor. Let's go through a squat as we do. If you know what kind of squat you like, setting up any props. I'm gonna set up a couple of blocks there to sit on. So toes going out a little wider, heels going in. You come down to a supported squat here with the hands on the knees and a little twist side to side with the shoulders dipping to center. Maybe going and sitting upon your little seat if you want. Finding a nice kind variation. Know that we're headed to the floor next, so head there whenever you want to. Otherwise, we'll be in the squat for about 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, moving any props to the side and coming on down to a seat first. Keep a block close by, and then start to come back down to your back, long body stretch, reaching fingers and toes in opposite directions once again. Okay. Let's bend the feet. You can do a little supported bridge here. Option to use your block or some pillows or a cushion, whatever you have handy. So we're basically just going to lift up the pelvis just enough to slide your block or a couple blocks for more surface area underneath the sacrum. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries to position that block in a supportive way. So just keep trying till it feels about right to you. Maybe tucking your shoulder blades together underneath your back. Maybe tucking your chin very gently toward your chest. A little bit of a inversion slightly here at this angle. Either keep hanging out just here as you are, option to come up to a different setting on your block. I don't recommend the highest setting, but maybe the lowest or the middle setting, or for more, kind of to amp this up even more, you could lift one leg and then the other. So you're in kind of a legs up the wall supported bridge. You can bend and straighten your knees as much as you want if you choose that option. If you have another option in mind, just go ahead and enjoy. Or anything else that feels interesting to try. If so, just see if you can keep the awareness of your breath as you explore. And if your feet were lifted, thinking about bringing them back down soon. When you're ready, pressing up just enough to slide those props out from underneath you, lower back down. Start to hug your knees in toward your chest and roll some weight over that area that the block was beneath. Just kind of smoothing things back out. We'll take another twist here to round things out at the end. So bringing your feet down to the floor, let's scoot the pelvis over toward the left edge of your mat. And then allow your knees to start twisting and lowering toward the right. Arms out wide for support. And maybe you let your head rock from side to side, maybe resting your gaze or the turn of your head toward the left, away from the twist of your knees to the right. For a little extra something, something, you could reach your right peace fingers, so the pointer and middle finger, the like peace sign peace fingers, could reach down and grab for the left big toe, possibly just holding on right there. Or beginning to straighten or almost straighten that left leg out toward the right side. If this causes too much undue stress or struggle or strain, just go back to a nice variation that you enjoy. In control and in awareness of the breath. the flow of your energy towards different thoughts or sensations as we flow and move. Let's release the grip if you were holding. Bring the knees back up to center. Switching sides, let's scoot the pelvis way over toward the right edge of the mat, and then allow your knees to start twisting and lowering toward the left, grabbing any support props you might need, maybe something between the knees or underneath your knees. Letting your head rock from side to side and then resting your gaze or the turn of your head possibly to the right, away from your knees. Staying here or adding on that toe lock, reaching your left peace fingers down to the right big toe. Either staying right here, holding that knee or holding your foot with the knee bent there, or maybe straightening or almost straightening your right leg out toward the left side. Two more breaths. Releasing and heading back to the center, bringing your pelvis to the middle of the mat there. If there are any last poses, movements, or stretches you want or need, feel free to move through those now. And then when you're ready, we'll find our final rest. Maybe in Shavasana corpse pose, maybe constructive rest pose. You could put your legs back up a wall, or maybe you put your calves up on an ottoman or a chair in your space. Lots of ways to try and get comfy. Just a few minutes here, letting this practice today sink in, solidify, integrate. And briefly thinking back to the start of today's class, seeing how you felt there at the beginning, just noticing again now. How are you feeling? Taking a little scan throughout your body, throughout your mind. And if it feels right, searching for a little moment that feels kind of blissful. Just done such a great thing with this movement practice today, this mindfulness practice, this breath practice. So hopefully it's not too hard to relish in some of those good feelings as you rest. And if thoughts come in and cloud your blissful moment, that's okay. Maybe just noticing and trying to redirect your focus back to this nice, warm feeling of taking good care. refocusing anytime you need to. Feel free to stay right here and continue your rest. But at some point, when you are ready to begin reawakening, start gently with a little wiggle of fingers and toes. Maybe a long body stretch eventually with a yawn or a swallow. Moving on to either side, resting in the fetal position for a couple rounds of breath. No rush here. And when you're ready, pressing your way up to a comfortable seat. Joining hands together at heart center if that feels good to you. Sitting up nice and tall. Today, we will seal our practice with 3 rounds of Om. You're welcome to chant or sing or hum or just listen as we go. We'll take a breath in, and then for the entire exhale, Om on the way out. And then after our 3 rounds, then we'll do the Shanti, 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 which means peace, peace, peace. So when you're ready, taking a normal breath in and out. Taking a breath in to prepare for our 3 Oms. Om. 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 Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Feeling the reverberations of Om together. Let's bring our thumbs up to third eye center. And a little bow of gratitude and sealing our class together. Let's bow together now. Peace.